Welcome to the Phlarpin Podcast. Phlarp stands for Park Hills Live Action Role Players. We are a medieval fantasy-themed LARP group that engages in unscripted combat against each other using padded LARP weapons and a shared combat system. We operate out of Park Hills, Missouri every Sunday from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. It is our hope here at the Phlarpin Podcast that through the utilization of this platform, we can expand on the ideas and suggestions taken from our players in order to maximize player retention and to expand our player base. The Phlarpin Podcast is made possible by support from our players and listeners like you. If you would like to support us, please visit our Patreon where you can do so for as little as $3 a month. Also, any engagement on our YouTube or Facebook pages is much appreciated, and thank you for listening.
All right, welcome to the Phlarpin Podcast. My name is Jason Smith, or North.
And I'm Brandon Frazier, or Daveen Alwyn.
And I am Chris, or Eric the Red.
And today is Sunday, the 2nd,
Yeah.
7/2.
Yep, 7/2/23.
Yep.
Really quick, I got something to say. All right.
So did
Good
North.
job.
Sorry to keep cutting you off there, but
That one's acceptable. Okay, so really quick. Today is Sunday, June 2nd, 2023. It is approximately 6:32 p.m., and it is 83 degrees. The high today was 87, and the low tonight is going to be 68. The traffic is moderate, and in sports, last night, the Cardinals beat the New York Yankees 11-4, I believe.
I mean, I'm happy to hear it.
So
They're still in last place in the Central.
they beat New York Yankees and Harrison Bader.
First off, let's not trash Harrison Bader. He had nothing to do with that trade. He just did what he was supposed to do. In fact, it was very respectful the way he left. So I don't want to hear no Bader slander.
I'm just saying, he could have said, no, I'm
No,
staying here.
He couldn't have.
He could have. He could have said, I'm playing for free. Anyway, I wanted to let everybody know how that's how I talk in my daily snaps and
And
my
his
TikTok.
TikToks. Mhm.
So,
nice.
Mr. Brandon there knows.
That's true. I like every single TikTok he puts out.
I did not make one today.
Or I would have liked it, probably.
I wasn't feeling it. So,
Mm.
although I should have, since I didn't get to talk at all today.
I mean, you're talking now.
Yeah,
Are you getting it all out now?
I'm trying.
So are you playing a mute character? Is that something that's happening?
No, it was one of those.
Yeah, let's clear that up, because there was a few different players that come up to me, and they were like, why did you mute Chris, or whatever?
Did you silence him?
Yeah, and I'm like,
So
because it was right after we were talking and
Yeah.
stuff, so it
I
kind of probably
was-
looked that way.
I was really after last week. I had already spoke with North about this. There were some issues going on. I had left the Phlarp chat. I left the all the chats that we had,
Yep.
and I needed some cooling off time, and so that I was preparing myself this week that I didn't want to lash out or do anything stupid. So that's why I was like, just duct tape my mouth shut. And so I was like, you know what? I'll just be a mute this week, and I'll be a player, not a marshal. I was wanting to come out and be a savage and start wrecking things. So
So to
we know
clarify.
you're waiting for us to stop talking so you can talk about the bug that's on your phone.
No,
so go
I'm
ahead.
not. I was just going to say, so to clarify, it was a self-imposed mute.
it was
Muting.
It was a self-mutilation mute.
And yes, I do have a bug on my phone, but that's not what I was.
It was originally on my headphone.
Hey,
It doesn't come off, man. He's really grippy.
he's got the grippers.
It's got the
Yeah.
suction cups.
Clearly, something.
So, what do you want to start with? A recap, suggestion box? Where you guys want to go?
I'm good with whatever.
I got a few suggestions here. Haven't looked through them yet. I'm looking at the recap right now, so let's just start there.
Okay.
We got.
No Daveen's Corner?
We can go to Daveen's Corner if you want
Oh.
to.
We always do
Oh.
Daveen's Corner first.
My question is, before we even start Daveen's
Okay.
Corner, okay, I have two pretty PG jokes for today.
Okay.
I also have in my bank of jokes.
Mm-hmm.
I also have two not so PG jokes.
Okay.
My question is, how do you want them distributed?
Well,
I'm only
Here's
going
what
to
I'm
give you
thinking.
two jokes.
Evenly.
here's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
We do the two jokes on air, the PG-13 jokes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a little teaser. The joke contest. So we've got a joke contest.
I can't
coming
tell
up.
those jokes in the joke contest.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
But they're going to be released on Patreon only. That contest is on the actual contest is only going to be released to patrons. So why don't we save your 2 jokes for the Patreon afterwards? So after we get done with the podcast, we're going to do the other 2 jokes, and I'll upload them to the Patreon as a little teaser. Yeah, to make sure we're still releasing content there. So
All right.
All right. That sounds good because they are kind of longer jokes anyway.
okay.
They're long-winded jokes.
Long-winded.
So anyway, with that being said, it's time to start.
Daveen's Corner!
Woo! Okay. So, first joke. Where do you find a crab with no legs?
I don't know.
Right where you left it.
That's pretty good.
Okay. This one I actually like more. You ready for the next one?
Okay.
What did the pig say that had been out in the hot sun all day?
I don't know.
Man, I'm baking.
Okay. Nice.
Oh, anyway, that was
Daveen's Corner.
All right. Now
Very
we can move to
nice.
something else.
Starting with a laugh. It's nice.
I
I liked
starting
both
with
those.
life.
Sometimes you tell jokes and I'm like, they're all right, but those were really good.
Oh, so which one
They
of my
have
jokes
my
are just
approval.
all right?
Oh, the ones I didn't laugh at very hard.
Well, you laugh at all of them.
Okay.
So which ones were fake?
I don't know. All the other ones besides
Yeah,
these?
clearly.
Okay. So first we played a last man standing. Oh, Jesus.
Whoa. We got more bugs?
No, it's the same one. I just forgot he was there. And he crawled
We're
off
going to
me.
put them on the laptop?
Yeah.
Like a...
Anyway, we played last man
Just
standing.
flick it off that way somewhere. It's okay.
We're friends now. Okay.
Goodness gracious.
I flicked him into the abyss. Okay, so first we played a last man standing,
That's true.
and you get. Oh, there's another bug. What the heck? There's a different one. Okay.
He's got something coming out of his butt, too.
Wow. Anyway, we
So
played a
last man standing is how we
standing,
started, right?
yes.
Which is how we start every Sunday.
And we're going to build up to it. So we'll say the RP bonuses were given out to Heston, Joseph, Rand, and Sarvok, first of all. So congratulations to them. They must have did some cool stuff.
And I am noticing that a lot of the RP XP is going to the same people all the time. So this might have to stop.
We might have to be looking for different
Something-
people to give them
something
to or
else.
something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe these people are just role playing really hard too.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I mean, maybe that tells the other players that they need to roleplay.
I mean, I know that I gave my RP XP, which he is in the top 3. It was to Heston, but that was it was biased in that I didn't see a lot of the other fights. I was only kind of watching it near the end. And so I did see like his roleplay death. He went to like charge in or something and just like basically fell over dead. Somebody ran behind him, I think, and killed him. And then he just died. But I was like, well, he was the only one I saw, so.
Okay.
I think I can't remember what happened, but it was kind of my fault in that I only seen the last of the battle. Anyway, third place was Arno, second place was Heston, and first place was
Lord Rand.
Who do you think it was?
Lord Rand. It was
Okay.
last Rand standing, as
Right.
everybody calls it. So
Yep. So Rand was the first. And then we played Jailbreak,
so this one is much smaller.
which was the reason we played that was because Valkyrie actually asked to play that one, so we played that one. The RP XP bonuses were given out to Bolvar, Aragon, Aja, Am I saying it right that time?
Mm-hmm.
And Trinity.
And Trinity. Oh, yeah, I see there.
The winning team there.
Yep.
And I'll just help you out a
go
little
ahead,
bit
go
here.
ahead.
So on Jailbreak, the team that won Jailbreak was Aragon, Dust, Lucian, and Jaeger. So it was a team of 4.
Nice. And although the players didn't know we were going to do this, I thought the splitting up of the teams was pretty good on that.
Mm-hmm.
Worked out okay.
I mean, it's never like you're not going to get it perfect like that.
Mhm.
Obviously, there's going to be some teams that are stronger than others, but I also feel like those teams got picked on a little bit because they're better. Like that's just
Mhm.
how it works.
Yeah, they didn't. The one that seemed like, I think there was one team that seemed like a bit of a strong team. I don't think they actually, I guess they didn't win that one, huh?
I guess not.
And didn't they keep releasing everybody? The one team?
A lot of people were releasing a lot of people, but I think that made the game fun. It lasted a long time.
And I guess we can talk about how that game's played just a little bit because I don't know if we have before, and also to just be we had never done the riot, I don't think, before today, like this time around. We hadn't added that rule in, so Jailbreak's a pretty easy game. After you split the teams up, when you die, you instead of going to the res point, you enter the jail, which was a central area, and then
basically just a big square that's squared off with cones.
with the res points at the corners of it, and then when you enter the jail, you're back alive again, so you can't talk. Unlike other games, even though they're on the sidelines and you're, like in the jail, you're considered alive. So, which I don't know how much that helps people. Maybe you can negotiate or role play a little bit, or yell out, "Look out!" Or do this or
Sure.
whatever. Yell out commands, I guess.
Offer coin for people letting
yeah,
you out.
that's
Whatever.
true.
I mean, there's all
Did
kinds of
anybody
stuff.
do that
you
today?
could do.
That's
No.
a good.
No, but I would have done it if I would have been stuck in there. That's
Yeah.
why you got to have copper on you.
Yep.
Hey, Rand, let me out, man. I'll give you 5 copper right now.
Yeah, they would.
He probably would have done it.
Yeah. He probably would have done it for like one or
Probably, yeah.
two,
Yeah.
Probably.
just for the copper. But although he may have like tried to kill you right afterwards, so but.
I'll go out the other side of the jail.
Yeah,
Watch me do it.
That's true. But yeah, so after you get put in the jail, someone else can release you out of the jail by going to the edge of the jail, basically, either a cone, res point, or just kind of where the line is, basically. And you put your foot on it, and you say, freeing whoever. Like if Daveen was in there, I'd be like, freeing Daveen 1, Daveen 2, freeing Daveen 3, all the way to 10. Then I say success, and Daveen's free. He can exit the jail. The new rules that we add, and then the winner is whoever, whenever you get just you're the only one left outside the jail, that a team is the only one left outside the jail, they win. And then the extra little rules that we added was, we had one before, which is the call is called Jailbreak, and it's a rotating cast, so you have to have 3 people saying it. One person starts it, like I would be like, casting Jailbreak 1, and then
Jailbreak 2,
Casting Jailbreak 3,
Jailbreak 4,
Jailbreak 5.
Jailbreak 6, all the way
on
to 10.
Yeah, and then success, and then they all get freed if you do that one, and they don't have to be on your same team in order to do that. So you can only free your own teammates, which I guess we said you could free whoever.
Right.
So whether it's your own teammates or not, you could do the rotating cast with anybody, basically.
Yeah.
And then there was another one, which we added today, kind of, which we've had in the past, but we just haven't played for it this round, was Riot. And I thought that went pretty well, considering how bad it could have been. Like, somebody could have got hurt or whatever, because it was kind of a small area to fight in. I don't know if I should have made that area a bit bigger or what, but basically, anyway, you do a rotating cast of, you take 3 people, and you got to do a rotating cast to 10 seconds of Riot 1, Riot 2, Riot 3, all the way to 10. And then it makes the people in the jail engage in a last man standing, and whoever wins that last man standing frees themselves, so they can exit, they can be alive and free the jail or exit the jail, which is pretty cool. I thought it went pretty cool. They called that like 3 or 4 times, and there were some people that were able to manage to be the last person standing and then
Sure.
was able to exit the jail. So
No, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Is all the games that we play at LARP, or Phlarp rather, Jailbreak's my favorite. It's my favorite game that we've ever had. I love Jailbreak. It's a good game.
It is.
I agree.
Anyway, so yeah, we did that.
Mm-hmm.
Said the winning teams, RP. It does say that we had 40 to 45 people today.
Yeah, I
So
guess
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess that was like, at the height of the day, whenever we had quite a bit of people there, they started noting how many people was there, and yeah, it says 40 to 45 people. So it's
And
pretty good.
then I realize that this isn't relative to the recap, but did anybody else have one of those BLTs today that Mercer Stitch made?
Oh no,
I
I didn't manage to.
I
eat
had 2 of them. They were phenomenal. I mean, they were on French bread, and they were still delicious.
one.
So shout
I
out
saw
to
you
Mercer
eating
Stitch.
the one. It looked really good.
Yeah,
so.
it did. And then I went and got another one. I told her I was going to too. I was like, hey, I'm going to get another one of those. She's like, yeah, that's fine.
That
Cool.
reminds me.
Yeah, so shout out to Mercer Stitch.
Yeah, that was my whole point there. Was shout out to
Thanks.
Mercer.
Because I
You're
forgot.
welcome.
I forgot to make my donation this week.
Well, you have her magical Cash App device, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, well, there you go.
Doing it right now.
Thank you for that donation.
Yeah, thank you for that dono. We appreciate it.
Prish the dono.
So, after that, we did Song of Fire and Ice, which that was actually my suggestion.
Mm-hmm. And I thought that
Um,
was pretty fun too. There were some new people that hadn't played that yet, so that was pretty cool that they got a chance to play it.
Let's go roleplay XP first. Looks like Lord Reese. Dust, well, she's not a lady yet. So just Elizabeth, Takimura,
She'll be next week.
and Aja. We'll see.
We'll see.
Until they swear in, you never know.
Mm-hmm. They've got everything else done, so she did pass the Squire test, I think.
Right.
So.
Yep.
Winners of that game. The winning team was Belnar, Heston, and Takimura. Song of Fire and Ice, which is, without over-explaining the game,
Yeah,
because I
sure.
just don't know that we have time to do all that, especially if we're going to play our game today.
I should have brought. Oh, I can do it.
If
There's a
you
way
don't
to do
have
it.
if you don't have it, we don't have to. But the game's kind of like freeze tag. So when you die, you're just going to drop to the ground rather than like leaving the field. And technically, one of your teammates could come by and pick you up by casting Thaw 1, Thaw 2, all the way to 5. And then you're back up. So it's kind of like freeze tag. But once all your team's gone, you're gone. It's over.
Right.
Which, do you want to talk about what we saw today? And why we had to change the rule mid-game?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it was smart, but it was ridiculous. So
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
okay, so
I was confused.
and I wasn't even the one that initially saw it, but somebody brought it up to me, and I start watching, and all of a sudden I see this team going around rezzing people that weren't on their team, and then blood pack just immediately, and I'm like, oh no, they did not.
Yes, we did.
And I was like, that feels like that's against the rules. And like, I'm standing there next to North. He's like, well, technically it's not. And I was like, we got to do something. Like, that's not okay. And so he's like, you know what? Just, you can only res your own team from now on.
Because we were trying to do it like the jailbreak, where you can res whoever you want or whatever to kind of cause chaos.
Yeah,
but
we
it
were kind of hoping
turned
for
out
that.
to be-
But the blood pack ruined it all.
Yeah.
That ability is like too good for that scenario.
I mean, you got to admit it was good.
No, I said it was smart. I also felt like it was kind of like teetering on the edge of the rules a little bit. Like, that's not how it was meant to be used. So it was like free blood packs. But anyway,
Yeah, because it was almost impossible for the person on the ground to get away from them after they had res.
yeah,
them. It
yeah.
was-
Like, and you don't expect them to res you and just go blood pack.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh crap, I'm a skeleton.
Yeah. Which, to
Awesome.
be fair, during that game, I did see some really cool role-played skeletons. Like, really
I
cool.
agree.
Aja got, in fact, Aja, the reason that he got role-play XP for that game was because of how well he did his skeleton.
I saw him kill 2 people as a skeleton.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. I haven't seen that happen very often at all.
He actually admitted today, he goes, I killed more people as a skeleton than I did as my normal character. But I mean, like, we had what? Lord Reese, Raven, Aja. We had like 4 of them all at one time.
Yeah,
we were
you
like,
guys had a good little team.
we were
going.
like, this is how we do it.
I'm actually shocked you guys didn't win that one.
Well, I mean, you know, with me being in my mute character at the time, I couldn't thaw anybody, so I was like, I was useless. But at least I was able to, you know, try and have their back.
What do you got going on here? What are you looking at?
The same thing you are.
No, that's
I was
boring.
thinking about what he was saying about the mute character, because I had talked to Midnight, which is another character that is role playing that they are mute.
And like anything that like requires you to talk for the game, like thawing, technically doesn't count as your character
Yes.
talking. Like that is
It
like a
doesn't count as
game
a break.
mechanic.
Okay.
So for future reference,
Right.
like
See, that's why
you could
I
also
was just like,
jailbreak. You could do all the things that you need to do that are game mechanics, and that's not your character speaking.
that's why I was just like, at least I can be out there and kind of help them, you know, like I can kill people.
Sure. And well, I think for me, one of the reasons that we have to do it like that too is because a lot of our abilities have verbals. Like, there's really no way that you can go out there and not be able to speak, at least right now. Like, we could work on something like that, but right now it would be very difficult
Right.
for somebody to go out there and use abilities and do all that stuff and not be able to talk. It would be
Yeah.
almost impossible.
Yeah. And like that was kind of brought up before, like when Trinity's brother had showed up. We were like, how's he gonna do anything if you know, because he can't speak, he doesn't have a
Right.
voice box, and so it's like he
Yeah.
can kill people. That's
And
about it.
To be fair, you know, we were hanging out with him
Yeah.
not this past weekend or not yesterday, but the Saturday before.
Yeah.
And he was trying to talk to us with his like voice thing,
With his
and I was
wand.
getting nothing.
Nothing.
I was like, sorry, bro. Like every time he said me, then he would turn to his partner, tell her, she would relay the information. I was like, I feel so bad.
And
right
we're
now.
like, you have a phone.
yeah.
All you have to do is text it
The
out. and
best
show
part
it.
about it though is he would get aggravated that no one could understand him, and then he would like start to cuss, and I would definitely know what he was saying when he was cussing. I'd be like, oh, he just told us to go fuck ourselves. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, we'd look at
That
each
was
other. We're
coming
like, we
through.
got that one.
Yeah. He didn't even use that with us. He just mouthed that, and I was like, I know what that means. It's pretty funny though.
Yeah, it was.
Do you want to talk about the patrol?
Yeah, sure.
That
We had
was
an
a
interesting
patrol, yeah.
patrol.
was a patrol.
I mean, we had like 4 charges in that patrol.
Yeah, the new hero just kept saying, just charge or whatever.
I mean, it was
charge."
probably my fault the first time, but after that, it was all him. I'm like, a charge again? Oh my god, I'm tired. You know?
And I want to do a shout out to the charge for Hydroid too, because that was awesome.
Oh
He was,
yeah,
he was
I
running
did
around
do
on
that
our
one
side.
too. I went for Hydroid, and we all just took off, dude. That was pretty cool.
Because he was running around as a hero. You know, he had come to the hero side and he was running around on our side, kind of in front of the group, but he didn't have no weapons in his hands. And I was like saying, "Oh my gosh, we got to make sure he's got to get a weapon." He just went for the weapon that was
Yeah.
over like in the middle of the goblins or whatever.
The goblins and the orcs.
Yeah.
We're
And I was
like, he's
"No."
definitely gonna die,
like, "Oh
and
my
he
God."
did. And,
Yeah.
but
He
did.
it was kind of a cool role play death.
Yeah,
though.
It was.
Yeah, and then he died, and we're like, "Oh no, Hydroid! Oh my god!" And you're like, "For Hydroid!"
We just
And
all
we, like,
charged.
Yeah,
That's
it was cool.
probably when we ran into each other. At
No,
least
it
one
was-
of those times.
The first one. Okay, so the first one, Takimura was laying on the ground. He got killed, and you know they were sending us in like 2 or 3s,
Mm-hmm.
and you know they were like go, and I just went running, and I went to like jump over him, and I was gonna land, and just be like doing
Yeah.
one of these numbers so he can hit me, and Takimura, like I felt his eyes just come out of his head. I wasn't even looking at him, but I was like, I made sure I stopped like about 1.5 feet right in front of him to launch, and I made sure there was plenty of room on the other side, and I just stopped. But the second time, I went to
So
run.
you did jump over. You made it over.
I made it over
I thought
him. and
I
everything.
saw that one whenever he was laying on the ground. He started to raise up a little bit, and then he went back down. Like, oh, okay, I guess I'm fine.
Well, that's the thing is I tried to make sure that I was jumping, and in case he did jump up, I was mainly trying to go over his legs. But the second time, I was just gonna run and just be like, ah.
Yeah.
He falls right in front of me, and I'm like, and that's when I ran right into you.
To be fair, I'm glad it was me, or
Yeah.
like me or Rand. Like we can
Somebody
take
that could
those
take
blows.
the hits.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. He's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm literally fine." But it was funny.
It was.
I just put my shield up,
He
but-
did. I was like, oh God. I'm just trying to brace, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna hate me for this one.
No,
and like
it was
I
totally
just,
fine.
but I couldn't do anything. you
There
know?
was
It
one
happens
moment
sometimes. You know.
during that patrol that I thought was really funny. It was pretty early on. You know, there was just me, you, and the new hero at first.
Mhm.
And you guys had died, and I was sitting there, and like they're sending a wave at me, and I just kind of like hunkered down behind my shield because like I knew I was gonna die, and I was just like, I'd rather res with them anyway. And they just like swarmed me.
Mm.
It was kind of funny though.
Yeah, I think now this is the first time I've actually got to be on the monster side, and I mean now I see why everybody enjoys it because you know being on the hero side you're just like okay, you know you're trying to explain everything to the new guy and trying to you know get his confidence up or their confidence up. But on the monster side, you don't have to worry about that. Everybody's already like, oh, it's
Yeah.
going to be so much
People-
fun.
Editor speaking. The code word this week is going to be for Hydroid. Thank you very much.
I get hyped to role play the goblins and the orcs, man. Especially the goblins. They really have a good time
Yeah.
role playing the goblins. The people that do that well do it really well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's because, they can connect to it and they can just fun RP.
Yeah, it's
They
goofy.
don't have to worry about anything.
And the stakes are different too. It's not like you're doing it to get XP or anything. You're
You're
doing it
to have a good time.
yeah, and to sort of impress that new person, and to make sure that they have a really good time too. And I think it makes it. It's like they're not winning if they're not role playing it. All that stuff really good. Like
Yeah.
that's part of how you play that game, kind of.
Yeah.
I
is you
agree.
role play it really hard.
Well, the whole point, and I tell people that too anytime I'm on that side. Like, hey, you give me your best role play. I want to see your very best. And I think they take that to heart for the most part.
Even if they're not combatants, like I've had Rose on the other side over there as the monsters, and sometimes she'll do something that isn't necessarily even a fighting thing, but I will role play with it. Like I was asking her one time for a sword or something. She's like, "All right, I'll give you my sword or whatever." As a goblin, and I was like, "Okay, cool," I don't know.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. I like it when people do funny things, especially in those.
Yeah, they're not necessarily there to role play like
Right.
a good fight. Really, they're just
Yeah.
more to try to get you to like engage with them.
I feel like that's kind of
other
what the
ways.
goblins are for in a way. Like they're
Mhm.
kind of like the comedy relief of
Like
that
tricksters and-
particular event. Like the big bad orcs that are back there, making the loud grunts and stuff. They're supposed to be like the more serious ones, whereas the
Mhm.
goblins are kind of that comic relief that you need sometimes, especially when you're trying to break the ice with a new player.
Mhm.
Which, by the way, I basically missed it. I guess he did real well on figuring out how to take down the ogre.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I
I-
died and I came back and the ogre was dead. And I'm like, he figured that out quick.
Yeah, I guess I when I went to I was just circling him when I went to go, run at the ogre and do a charge or something. He was already down on his knees or whatever. So I was like, oh, okay, he's already got him down. So I kind of missed it too. I'm not sure if he just like figured it out really quick, but they were explaining stuff too pretty quick. So
Yeah. Yeah, I
Sometimes
try not
they-
to give. I try to kill the heroes before I ever give a hint.
Mhm.
I'll hit the heroes, the
Yeah.
new ones, and I'll be like, you're not tall
Mhm.
enough. I try to wait
I
till I
think
kill
one-
them
at least
in
one
order to
death.
give them the
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
hint. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess he just figured it out really quick.
Well, I know that he did have one. He did try to hit him one time, and I heard our ogre say that he wasn't tall enough, and so he must have just okay. So
Cool.
I did hear somebody say somebody told him to jump and try to stab him.
I was telling you to jump too, and then I was gonna go
Oh.
like this, and then I was gonna jump and get killed or whatever, but
I thought you were saying that to the new hero. I'm just like, why?
why did you do
Why
that?
are you giving him this false information? Not to mention, we all know how to kill the ogre. It's funny.
I think today's patrol was honestly, I think it was one of the funnest ones that I've been a part of. I mean, we've had some pretty fun patrols, but I think this one has been the most fun. One, because I was on the other side, and two, I think that the RP side of it was a lot better, and we had more engagement of charges. It wasn't just a trickle of heroes. It was, you guys were actually getting everybody together and be like, hold the line. Okay, now we're going. So I think that kind of made it a little bit funner.
Yeah, I like it when I'm able to be on that side, but I also understand the need for me to do the other side, especially when Alvin or Rand isn't there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think it went really well. It was also interesting that we didn't play it near the beginning of the day. It was something that we played actually almost the last thing we played of the day, which was a little different.
because the hero showed up later, but
Yeah.
it worked out,
It did.
and
was-
actually was much quicker than it was. Only like 30 minutes, or a
And-
little less than 30 minutes even.
And really, we had kind of a second new player today, although they didn't go on patrol. I gave him the choice to go on patrol or not. It was Xander. Xander has
Oh,
passed
okay.
his squire test, so he stepped down as a marshal, and now he's just a regular player.
And you're okay with him playing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. I think
Won't
that's
get
the way
any
we're
more
gonna do
into
it.
that, but
It's like a case by case basis, kind of. But yeah, he is a younger player, but he has shown that he knows all the rules and everything. So I allowed him to play today too. So that was kind of a new player, sort of.
Yeah.
sure.
So
And I think he did really well.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, there was no issues. He did really well, so you know it's a good thing, and I'm really glad that he's able to be a part of what we do now.
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
And then we played one more game.
Well, hold on.
Oh,
Real
ooh.
quickly, just on the role play experience for that one, it looks like it went to Aridin, Arno, and Joseph.
Okay.
So, anyway, but then go ahead.
And then the last game that we played was Minion. So, it was a little confusing. And I think Pius won that. So,
Yeah, it says winner Daveen. That's not true.
No,
no. And then RP, she said in the chat, sorry, she said that. She said, sorry, the winner was Pius in the regular chat.
Oh, okay.
In the chat.
Yeah, I was gonna say that is definitely not true. Daveen got demolished at the end of that game by
yeah,
like
dude,
40 warriors.
How did that go? Tell us that from your perspective, this
Okay,
whole game.
so I had basically figured out that there was going to be a large army of people, basically everyone on one side. There was like 3 people left. I told, in that case, Master Pius, because he was the master of all those minions, I said, hey, just save me for the end. My thought process was, I was going to say, listen, I'm not a dumb elf. I don't want to fight an entire army by myself. It's not going to go good for me. I'll just walk off the field. And I was actually going to walk off the field.
And just give him the win.
Just give him the win, you know? And then his minions weren't listening. They were still trying to shoot me with arrows and throw
Several
flowers.
times they were shooting at you.
And he told them not to.
Mhm.
So I started talking. I started running my mouth, telling them they were nothing. They were minions. They had to listen to their master. They were peasants.
When Aragon shot at you, he walked over to, because I was standing right by Pius, and he walked over and he said, can I shoot him? Let me shoot him. Because he was, it was after you said, oh, you're not supposed to do anything without his permission. He went over and directly asked him then, and he didn't let him shoot you no more. So I think he didn't shoot you no more after that, I think.
I don't know.
But
He
either
shot
way.
me the one time. But
Right.
either way, that doesn't matter. The whole point is I was talking my talk just because, I don't know, I was just running my mouth. And this was after they started trying to fight me. I wasn't going to do that prior to that. And then I'm walking off the field, but I'm down a leg now because I got shot with an arrow. And at that point, Master Pius called me out. He said I was walking off the field with shame, with
Yeah, he
no
said-
honor. I
he
was an
said,
elf with no
Hey,
ears.
guys, let him go. Let him go. Let him take the walk of shame.
Yeah. So I did what anybody else with any honor would do. I turned around and was like, all right, well, let's go. And I said, what did I say exactly? It wasn't what they said I said. I know that. But I said something to the effect of, well, forget you guys. And I like ran into the entire group. Like I knew I was going to die. It was just me basically role-playing my death. And they killed me. And there was probably like 40 of them. So I think they said I took out somebody on my way out, though.
Hmm.
I think it was Heston.
Nice.
probably
So there's that.
Hmm.
dirty
But-
wizard.
Yeah, somebody threw brittle bones at me. Like it was a bad situation for Daveen.
Yeah, and it was like after he had his minions under control, then he was like, all right, now it's my turn to talk crap or whatever.
Yeah. I was literally heading for the town.
Yeah. He said, let him take the walk of shame, an elf with no ears, or something like that, and that was it.
And then I just closed my
And then
eyes.
he was like Marty McFly. He was like, did you just call me chicken?
Yeah, basically. I like closed my eyes. I was like, I can't let him do that.
Nobody calls me chicken.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, it was good.
And then we had some RP roleplay given out to Daveen
Yes.
for your good roleplay there.
Thank you.
Yi Futin, Aja,
And
and
Erica Red.
Yep. And
There
so
you go.
got some too. For Minion.
Congratulations.
I
Do you remember what you did?
no.
Well, you did something that caught somebody's attention.
Yeah, apparently.
So
It must have been all those wonderful RP deaths.
maybe it was.
Were you still muted at that point? Yeah, it must have been then, I guess. Couldn't have been too much roleplay interaction in any other way. It must have been like roleplay death or something.
They also wrote down some play of the days. One of them involves me. We don't have to read these. I'm just saying there is
Okay.
another page.
I see it. Daveen running into Pius's group,
Which we
during
already talked
Minion,
about. Yeah.
was Thyra's play of the day. Valkyrie's play of the day says Dust ran around the field after Aragon, and Elizabeth came at him, and he killed her mid-run and proceeded to chase Aragon and kill him too.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Cool. And then
That kid is quick. He's like real tall, and runs like a gazelle.
He does.
That other stuff is just other notes.
Yeah.
Apparently they came up after.
Shout out
whatever.
to Madison though for running the camera today. We had a player today running a camera today that isn't actually, well, it's not actually a player.
Is she gonna be a marshal?
Yeah,
is that
I think
a thing?
potentially.
Cool. I'm down with it.
Cool.
So
Yeah, we may have a new marshal too, which is good because Xander is a player now, so
right.
then we're
Yep.
still maintaining the same amount of marshals would be good.
Maybe.
So, you guys talk about something, and I'll screen these.
I mean,
Okay, I got something I want to talk about.
go ahead.
It's like throughout the week. You know, like when we're not here. Like you know you guys are gonna see me on Sundays, right? But I want to know throughout the week, do you guys miss me? Like, do you think about me? Is it something that happens?
Oh yeah. Sometimes.
No.
Okay. Rude. North, you miss me, right?
Oh,
Is
yeah.
it rude or is it honest?
Both. I thought about you throughout this last week a lot.
Quite frankly, I didn't have time to think about anybody other than my job. Okay.
You work 24 hours a day.
I do. I am a 24-hour worker.
Okay. Fair enough. I'm just saying, you know, I sent a lot of messages on the stone tablet this week
You
that were
did.
just ignored.
You did. No, I interacted with you.
Little, but
did.
I was ultimately left on red.
I had some mental health issues that I've been battling with for a while now, and come to find out that apparently Venus is in retrograde.
I don't even know what you're talking about right now.
I don't know what this means, but it's causing
thought-
Libras to be backwards.
Well, I'm a Libra, so that kind of makes sense.
Me too.
So like,
What? We're all Libras?
Yeah.
So it's funny because like with my mental health issues in the summer, that's when I'm at my high time. I'm good, and in the winter, it's where I really it's been backwards. This winter I was all good. Now it's summer and I'm really like depressed and angry and
Don't they have a name for like people that like feel different in certain seasons?
seasonal affective disorder.
Okay, well, there you go. That's
I-
not what I
I-
thought it was called, but
That's what it's diagnosed as.
so like I am one of those people that like I really prefer the cold to the warm because like the warm just like messes with my brain. It starts to cook me. I can start getting
Yeah.
mad and frustrated.
Yeah.
I just don't like the heat, and that's the truth. But in the wintertime, like people always complain about the cold, and I'm like, just shut up. Because in the summertime, I don't. Just shut up. You know.
I mean, we have the freaking eternal fire that we have every winter.
I know. I don't know why people complain.
You know,
Like, don't get me wrong. I get cold too. But
I
you
end
can
up burning
put
my
clothes
hands on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But when you're really hot, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah. Right. I don't
To
want to
escape the
take
heat.
off my shirt and show off this sexy man bod to everybody for free. You know, I just don't want to do it. I know that we have some players that do that. Maybe they shouldn't, but we have players that do. I don't want to be one of those guys. You know. You're just gonna give me the
Make 'em
chicken
all
scratch
jealous.
every week, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you not want that one? That's from the Jester.
I know it is. I know it is. Thanks for ruining my little sneak peek here.
Okay. I have people purposefully. This one is actually kind of a serious one, but also like I'll tell you my thoughts on it, and then I'll see what you guys think.
I mean, I don't like the fact that you're laughing if it's serious. Go ahead.
People
though.
purposefully counting because it's also kind of funny, and I was actually kind of complimenting the person, but now there's this in here, so maybe we need to talk about it. It says people purposefully counting to interrupt someone trying to free another person in jailbreak should count as cheating. So somebody was sitting there trying to
That's
count
hilarious.
the jailbreak. And
So
then
I
the-
actually know who did that.
Yeah.
He told me about it, and I go, "That's actually funny."
Yeah,
It's
he's like, "Is that
funny.
okay?" And I was like,
He was
"Yeah,
like
sure,"
using
you
an
know.
accent and the whole thing, dude.
I mean, he was like staying in character, but yeah, he was trying to interrupt their thought
I
process.
think that's hilarious.
On whether, and he did restart a few times. He had to restart a few times because he got confused about what number he was on. The other person counting got confused.
So
I don't
how's
wanna
it
use
cheating?
names.
No.
I don't want to use names, but
Right.
I know who got confused because I saw him get flustered at like 8. And he,
And he said, "Damn it."
yeah, and then he was like, he just like said it again, like 8 again. But I don't even know if he got it off.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think he did.
I don't think he did.
Oh, did he?
I
die?
don't
Oh,
think
okay.
he did.
But yeah, so while he was trying to free someone within the jail was just screaming random numbers.
I mean, they're criminals.
Right?
I mean, come on.
You're in jail for a reason.
Yeah.
So, I mean, my thought process was kind of the same as what you were saying. Is that I thought it was kind of like a big brain technique.
Yeah.
So, like I was like, well, I had thought about that, but I hadn't thought about that. But that's kind of brilliant.
That is
almost.
pretty funny. But, I mean,
It'd be the equivalent of them over there while you're trying to like, figure out how to break your friend edge. They're over there just like screaming at you through the bars, trying to
Yeah.
disorient you. Basically, is how I
Yeah.
would look at it. So I would say that's okay with me. But
I mean,
We
I'm
are good
okay with it
that.
too, but
It-
if it becomes more of a problem, we'll keep
Right.
an eye on it. Like if it's like really an issue.
right.
This happened in one game.
And they did stay in character. It's not like they were just yelling. They weren't. It was a tactic, but it was done like through their character. So it's not like they were just sitting there, and screaming numbers or whatever. So
I'm struggling to think the name of it, but have you ever had like somebody do the compliment roast to you? Like, you know how like they have roasts where you just like roast somebody, but instead of like negative things, it's positive things. Have you ever heard of this?
yeah, I think so. I mean, I've heard of the concept before. Yeah.
Could you imagine if you were sitting there and let's say you were trying to get Eric the Red here out of jail, and I just was like, oh man, like you're trying to count him, like your hair looks so beautiful. you have the pearliest white teeth that I've ever seen in my entire life. Like as you're trying to count, like that is like goated. That is hilarious. I don't know. I would
think it's a
take
good
it.
I
tactic,
would go
yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
All right.
And also to be fair,
be
I could
fair.
see that I could see where it would encourage the person to speak their cast really loud.
Yeah, you
because then they're
you're
trying to say
trying
it.
to like blind them. Whatever one, whatever two. Like I'm not listening to you.
Right, trying to stay on your count, would be more difficult. So you might say
Which
it
I
louder,
actually
so
like
that's a good
because
thing, I guess.
people I think need to focus on their accounts being a little bit louder. Which, to be fair, ironically enough, the person that probably wrote that was doing a really good job with their accounts being really loud today. Like actually a phenomenal job. So, anyway,
All right. Great day. Good luck to those who still need to pass the Squire test.
Cool.
So
we agree.
not
A lot of people are working
but
on
it's,
it. So
Yeah, that did seem to
spark.
get them in gear. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh dang it! They come for me every week. You hear this?
Yeah, I hear them.
But they never catch me.
It's not the cops.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's the ambulance.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right. I got one from the Jester today, who hopefully shows himself at the comedy contest next week.
Ooh.
Oh, it'd be the winner of the. Oh,
He might be. He might be if he shows his
he gonna-
face. Because I don't know if
what
he will.
the jester doesn't win? Oh,
That would be embarrassing.
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
We have a writer, a watcher, and now a jester.
yes.
Well, he's been in here for
Uh-huh.
Oh,
weeks.
Three.
jeez.
He's been putting jokes in here that are actually kind of funny.
Okay.
All right. So this one says, all right, I should have probably pre-read
Maybe he's
this.
saving his best material for the contest.
Okay. This says, I stepped on a rusty cartridge of an old video game while walking on the beach. Now I need to go to the hospital and get a Tetris shot.
No.
That's from the Jester. It's funny.
Oh my
I mean, it's
gosh.
funny.
And then I have the last one. We didn't have a whole lot in the box today, so the last one was, today was a great day. I love the games today. Thank you so much for everything. I love Phlarp so much. Phlarp? There's no L. Somebody failed there.
Oh.
I like Phlarp too.
I love Phlarp so much. Make the hole bigger.
Okay. Well, that's
I
got to
guess
go
they're
up
just
on the
trying to
board.
Get on the board, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well,
At some point, we might just have to have like a single stack of make the hole biggers. You know?
start consolidating them.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of them.
Did you have a play of the day?
Nope.
What?
He goes,
Wait.
did I fight today?
Did I do anything?
No. No play today. Nobody did anything at all today.
What about you?
I don't have any like specific plays. I will say the Chargers and the Patrol were really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that
I had a good
Hydroid charge was probably the funnest part of my day.
Yeah. I hope he appreciated it as much as we did.
So,
I hope he finds Roderick.
I know.
Oh,
I'm
man.
actually like kind of upset for him because
That's what he went there to get.
I
That's what he
know.
went out there to get.
I
Was
know.
that?
I know.
Yep.
That's why it was like it was a big deal that he like ran for it, and then he lost it.
Yeah.
I said in the chat, I was like, we looked for it, buddy. And he was just like, maybe it's in my bag. I'm like, what do you didn't check there?
For the listeners, Roderick is the name of his throwy.
It's a seahorse.
Seahorse.
It's like his
yeah.
companion. It's like his little animal companion. And he's role played with it and stuff in the role play chat. So
I'm gonna pull a north.
He also did an excellent thawing during Fire and Ice.
Yeah.
Hydra did, but I hated to have to go tell him this. Like he was over there trying to thaw somebody, and he was literally running around in circles around him, thawing him out.
oh, that he couldn't move his feet.
Yeah, and then afterward I said, and then
Dude,
so as I got over there,
that's so
somebody else
cool.
kind of straightened it out, and they said, yeah, you're not res because he wasn't supposed to be moving his feet. And then I got over there and I was like, man, I'm sorry. I appreciate the enthusiasm, like I really do, but yeah, you're not supposed to move your feet. But
Sucks. I mean, so even like during Last
he was
Man
like just putting
Standing,
his hand out over him.
he
and
was
running
just
around.
running around throwing that throwy at people.
Mhm.
And I told him, I went over to him after, I was like, hey man, like, are you playing a wizard? He's like, yeah. I was like, well, if that's your magic stone, you need to say magic stone every time you release this thing.
Mhm.
And he said okay, and then I didn't see him use the magic stone for the rest of the day. I felt really bad. I'm like, hopefully that like wasn't too much.
That wasn't the reason why.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, yeah, I'm done now. Done
I'm gonna
interrupting
pull
you.
a north.
Okay.
My play of the day
No, here we go.
was during patrol.
Yeah.
I used.
Did I do something?
I used an I used an unapproved ability on the heroes.
I don't even. He told me what it was. I don't remember now though.
I had some seriously bad gas today.
Oh yeah. You just crop dusted all the
Crop
heroes. Huh?
dusted all of them,
Was that
and
right
like
before one of the charges?
it was, like literally right before the charge. So like even all the monsters were like moving away, and you guys walked right into it. And I was all like,
That's pretty gross.
yeah. So you guys might need to get checked out for respiratory issues later.
Yeah, I probably need to go get a Tetris shot too.
Right.
So are you want to try to do it today or no?
No.
Okay.
No,
We're good with
we'll
it?
just
Time.
we'll just call it a short one, I guess.
Well, we can do that if you want. I'm really upset you guys didn't miss me throughout the week. This went much better on that other podcast. He's like, no, like I go home, I see you every day. Like it's Frankie and Joe Santiago. I don't know if you know who they are. And he's like, no, I like see you every day. He's like, yeah, but for work. Like, are we friends? And he's like, yeah, we're friends. He's like, you don't think about me? You don't think about me before you go to sleep? And he's like, what is wrong with you? Like, it's just two friends going at it, but it's hilarious.
I do use you as an example of sometimes as somebody I can talk to that does not get offended easily, where I can
True.
be like real honest with or blunt or whatever. So
I actually reached
my
out to
girlfriend
North
probably
this
gets
week.
tired of hearing that, actually.
Yeah. You know, because she gets offended easily.
Yeah, and then I'm like, some people appreciate me being honest, you know. And I'm like Brandon.
She's just out there cussing me. She doesn't even know who Brandon is. Just fuck Brandon.
Screw that guy.
Yeah, he's a jerk.
I actually
I
got
try
to
to
go
be
out
careful
and
with
see
it though, so
property
she's
this week.
doesn't get too upset about it.
You try
Go
to
ahead,
what?
Sorry.
I actually got to go see property this week.
Oh, did you go see
Like,
it?
Oh yeah.
This is the first time I've
property.
been to that property.
What'd you
and
think? You
It's,
see the potential?
I seen the potential
Mm-hmm.
right now, not so much, but I
I'm
seen
sure
the potential.
I haven't seen it. I've heard that the entryway is pretty bad.
It was. I've cleaned the entryway up quite a bit since I first got it.
And to be fair,
And I'm working my way back. So I started.
I gotcha.
You know, like from as
No, that makes
close to
sense.
the road as possible.
I
and
got
I'm
a
gonna-
bunch of photos and videos from Heston.
Mhm.
So like I have a decent idea of what it looks like. It looks way better than I expected it to. And also, if you've had any thoughts, like negative thoughts about what we did to the buildings, because I know they were a lot of work as far as cutting them down or whatever, I do genuinely think we can do better this time. And I wouldn't see it as a negative thing because I think they would be in pretty bad condition anyway.
If we had
personally.
like just left them or whatever.
Yeah, I think that they would be we need almost redone anyway, and then
Mhm.
this kind of gives us the opportunity to like, I don't know,
Start.
mock up a build rather than just kind of weaving some stuff together. Like, not that it was
Right.
bad before or whatever, but I think that as an example, the tavern, in my opinion, needs to be way bigger than it was.
Mhm.
I don't know how we go about doing that. I don't even know if we can use the cut down trees for that. But maybe we could use pallets
I
for
think
that. I've
that's
seen
what we're
some
gonna end up
pallet
doing.
buildings that are pretty cool.
Mhm.
We could do something like that. But it does give me hope and gets me a little excited thinking about things we can do in order to build that up, including, and I don't know how this is going to work exactly. what I would do to my own keep area if I had one, because you know, I think it has a lot of potential. If there's going to be a player that's going to stick around or whatever for a while, play for a long time, you could do some really cool stuff to your own keep area. You'd have to invest a little bit, but I think it would be worth it.
Right.
Yeah, and this time around, this is the first time that we have gotten property or been on property that we know that we can build permanent structures.
Right.
So now when somebody builds a keep, as far as I know, it'll work the same way as it did before, that you'll be able to kind of, as long as you meet certain specifications for your keep, you can build it kind of however you want, you know. So, and I'm going to build the castle, which is going to be basically a electric, like it's going to have electric, it'll have like it'll have as many amenities as I can get on it, so that people really want to get the crown, so they can stay in town.
Yeah, which is also a huge. See, most people don't realize this, and we don't have time to get into it right now. But once you get out to property, the whole game changes, and it changes for the better, in my opinion. Where there technically could be raids on keeps and all kinds of different stuff. It motivates you to be there, to have somebody there basically at all times to defend your stuff. And also, there's a mechanic where if you hold the crown, your resources, your chest is removed from the option of getting looted. So the entire time you have the crown, you don't have to worry about anybody attacking your stuff. That's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, there are very small ways they can do it, but it's hard to do, basically. You're much more secure in town.
Right.
You'd have much more control over it.
That's one
If you
thing.
were
And
like
that's
a
another thing I'm looking forward to when we get back out to property is I'm looking for, you know, the economy to collapse occasionally. That's a fun thing. That was a thing that I really enjoyed.
Or something I didn't think about until I was trying to design where to put the town is the monster game we used to play. There used to be a game where we would play whenever the monsters would sign up, especially at night, because you had the lanterns. You had to light the lanterns, and you had to put the lanterns out around the perimeter of town, and then monsters entered the town. They couldn't until you had all the lights out. And so I think doing that again is going to be really fun, too.
Yeah, there was a lot of fun things we did
game.
when you're like there and just like immersed, if that's even a word. Immersed. Whatever. I make up my own words sometimes.
You're immersified into the.
Yeah, you're just like you're really into it, and it changes the entire dynamic of everything, and I'm excited for it. My hope is that all of our players, and I know we'll lose some, but I'm hoping that the majority of our players come with us, because they need to experience how awesome property is.
Oh, yeah.
Because to be fair, I was one of those players that was like, I don't know about the property prior to going. I didn't want to make that transition. I knew that the park was manicured every week, that there were good things about the park. We had a good thing going at the park. But once I got out to property, I understood. But until I gave it a fair chance, I didn't understand.
Right.
And so what I would say to those players that are kind of like, well, I don't want to go out to the property. First off, it's not very far. We're willing to supply rides, and like you need to give it a fair chance, because it's game changing. Like it's almost an entire different game, and it's better.
Yeah.
So that would be my pitch to those people.
Yeah, I don't think the park. It doesn't compare much as far as the role play goes. Whenever you're literally walking around in the woods with your friends or whatever.
Oh yeah, it's crazy different.
And you're looking around.
It's so fun. Could you imagine just being out in the woods? Like, you've seen the property now. It's dark. You could literally hide behind trees. No one knows you're there.
Yeah.
It's really fun. I mean, and it sparks ideas that wouldn't exist at the park because they can't be done. So, as a quick example, at one point, there was a clan out there. I wouldn't even call it a clan. But there was a group out there basically that called themselves something. And when people would go out past town, like, they were killed. Like, just they were killed. And like, people would have to warn new players and stuff. Like, don't go out of town. Like, there's like, they called themselves the Laughing Coffin. And and they would, which is an SAO reference, which you might not know what that is, but that's okay. But they would go out there and they would just like basically surround them in a circle and like cackle, laugh at them, and it was like fun role play. But that stuff can't be done at the park.
Right.
Like, it has to be dark. Got to be in the middle of the woods.
Yep.
I remember one time I snuck down by myself, nobody around at all, and I'm trying to sneak down and basically mess with people or kill people if I can find them. You know, I was just like bored, and I was just like walking around the property kind of. And I went down over by a keep. I don't remember if it was your keep down there or you
Probably
or was somebody else's, but they were all the way down in that corner down there, and I was watching them. I sat for a while in the woods and was just kind of watching them, sneaking as I could closer and closer because you gotta pick your movements.
Oh, it's tough
Oh, yeah.
sometimes.
'Cause
One
you-
crack of a stick.
Yeah,
Yep.
and then they're all on you, right? And so I'm slowly sneaking in, and they're taking people fortuitously, taking people outside of the keep area to spar. So they had like another light sitting up outside of their keep, because if they'd all been in their keep, they'd have been safe. But I mean, they probably didn't have enough room to do this in there. Which is why they were outside of it.
Was this the bottom left one? Was
Yeah.
this the one like in the bottom left corner? That wasn't mine. That was Finrick's.
Right. Yours or his,
It-
as I
right.
figured. Yeah. And so, and I think it was Finrick that I actually killed. So I get down there and I get real close, and they're still sparring and stuff. And all of a sudden, I jump up and I just did a run for it because I didn't think I could cross that gap because the light was there.
Right.
So I waited until I thought they wouldn't, see me in time, and I ran over there and I killed him, and I ran off and managed to make it out of there without any of them killing me or anything. And it was like a really cool block of time because I
Yeah.
felt like I was
You accomplished the goal that you set out to accomplish
yeah.
against somebody that you probably shouldn't have,
Right.
which makes it way cooler.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I was able to even make it out of there before any of them killed me or retaliated or whatever. But then afterward, they said they saw me, so I don't know whether they were just being nice or they did.
I
or
don't
what.
feel like I don't remember that at all, but I also have a terrible memory. So
Yeah. I know that, like, what day did I meet you out there? Was that Friday? Yeah, it was Friday.
Yes,
Um,
it was Friday.
I went out there with him because we had our talk, and he was showing me the property, and he was like, "This is where our Coliseum's going to be," and like as he's saying it, I'm just like, okay, I'm automatically trying to picture everything, and I mean, like, when you get out there, you like you said, it's totally different than the park.
yeah,
So at the park, our campaign and our events are all in the same spot. This is going to be totally different, and I'm like totally imagining everything. Like, okay, here's our town. Here's going to be our Coliseum, and then past that is going to be campaign, and your keeps are out here. And so it's like I'm that type that like not really creative, but I'm like
yeah, you
just
can visualize it.
everything because like I always tell everybody else, it's like envision the battle unfolding. You want to see it unfold so that you can make your moves. And it's like that's what I was doing as he has explained everything. Now, he was showing me where the old tavern and stuff like that, and I was all like, okay, I could see it, but like it's really overgrown right now. But I'm like, I can see it eventually, as the year goes through and everybody's working on it. And his vision for the ship.
Oh yeah,
is
he's
that-
told me about that.
Are we spoiling?
I don't think we
I'm
should.
just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
I
don't
just said
think
the
so.
ship.
I don't think we spoil
I'm not.
anything
I'm not
yet.
going to spoil
Okay,
anything.
okay.
I'm just saying his vision for it.
Mhm.
Okay.
But I got to see inside the ship, which was
Okay.
amazing.
Yeah. How is that, by the way? The condition of the place there, is it pretty rough?
I mean, it's gonna need.
Some repairs.
Yeah, everything's pretty good except for the bathroom floor. The bathroom floor is gonna. I thought I was going into it
They
thinking,
can literally
oh,
need
I'll put some
replaced.
subflooring on this or whatever, and I walk in there, and that's been done about 3 times in there already. So I was like,
Gotcha.
oh, okay, maybe I need to redo this whole thing.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
But I mean, we'll have a bathroom, so it'll be
true.
worth it.
And we have some people too that I think consider themselves carpenters of sorts out there. I'm sure somebody would be willing to lend a hand if you provided the materials for it.
Right.
So I'm not one of those people, but
I'm not really
somebody
either, so.
might be. I don't know.
I don't know. But our podcast room is going to be amazing.
Oh, is that the plan? Is to have the podcast room there?
Yeah, we are going to be moving it as soon as I get electric on there. I have to build a new electric, like a new base for them to put the meter on. So that might take a minute. I kind of have a rough idea how I'm going to do that, but
Usually it's just literally installing a pole, isn't it?
yeah, you got to put two like angle iron things. They gave me some schematics that I have to kind of like adhere to. It's because the one that is there now is wood, and they don't mount them to wood anymore. So I have to pull that whole one out, which is almost the biggest problem, really. Once I get that out, I should be able to get all the materials to be able to build the base thing and put it in where that one was at pretty easily.
Okay.
Because I can just cement it down into where
Right.
the holes where the
So
wood
what's the new
posts
one
were
made out
pulled
of?
metal.
Okay.
It's a metal like angle iron type stuff.
All right. Fair enough.
So,
I can see it.
Well, anyway, we hope you keep listening.
And we hope you keep battling in the name of our capital, Darvishan, since you guys screwed it up last week.
and we hope to see you all next week.
Bye.